Yes.
Okay. Well, welcome everybody to the regularly scheduled Board of Commissioners regular meeting. It's May 16th, 12 noon. We have a quorum, but just barely. Just for the record, if we could have a call to order. I'm Mark Land, Commissioner.
Tim Johnson, Commissioner.
Jason Vanderveen, Fire Chief.
Yeah, thank you. So under the public comment section of the agenda, I'll just traditionally read sort of the process here. Due to Governor Inslee's latest proclamation, members of the public will be able to hear the entire meeting via Zoom. And we have the website link posted there, except for executive session, but will not be allowed to speak or provide public comment. So the next item of the regularly scheduled meeting here is the consent agenda. And I will just, again, as is our custom, summarize that. All matters within the consent agenda have been distributed to each member of the Board of Commissioners for review, are considered routine, and will be enacted by one motion of the board with no separate discussion. If a separate discussion is desired, that item may be removed from the consent agenda and placed on the regular agenda by request. Included in this consent agenda is the expense fund revenue for April, which is $793,869.11. Total expenditures for May is $3,066. We're also including the meeting minutes from April 18th, staff reports, which include the chief's report, operations and training, technical support staff reports, the financial report, the voucher payroll and benefits. The monthly expenditure payroll voucher is $1,024, and the monthly expenditure voucher is $2,042. So is there anything in there, Tim, that you would like to pull out and highlight for separate discussion? I don't have anything, but now would be the time to do that before I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I don't have anything, Mark. I do appreciate getting the treasurer's report this morning. So with that, I have no other topics I want to pull out of there.
Okay, thank you. Would you like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I will move to approve the consent agenda as it's presented.
And I would second that. It's been moved and seconded that the consent agenda be approved. Any other discussion on that? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, motion carries. Did we have Steve? Did you just join us?
Yes, he joined us at 12:03.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't notice that you had joined us, Steve. I should have asked you if you had anything to pull out of there as well.
I don't. I reviewed the agenda and all the items in the packet. I have nothing that I want to pull out. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So that vote will stand, and we do not need to amend that motion. All right, we're down to unfinished business. On my agenda here, we've got the RFA/merger update. Was one of the commissioners or the chief going to drive that portion of the discussion?
I certainly can. This has now become such a large topic that we're, as all of you know, we're scheduled to have a special joint board meeting on June 4th in the morning just to discuss this complete topic, and probably I'll just give a brief overview of where we're at and really leave the meat of it for that day. But Commissioner Land and I met with Chief Hewitt regarding annexations. You all saw the letter that has gone out to the city. I've not heard anything back in back channel communications with Chief Hewitt. He's spoken to the mayor. The mayor knows it's coming. The wheels of government churn at a glacial pace. So they'll get back to us, on their timeline. But that letter is not a surprise to the city. I did send him a copy after I sent it. And he agrees that nothing inflammatory in there. It's just stuff that needs to be talked about. Mr. Quinn has been kept in the loop. It'll be interesting to get his final take. He really feels like we're bound by statute and kind of at the mercy of the city of Bellingham. We'll see how discussions go with them separately. I think he's absolutely no disrespect to Mr. Quinn. I just think he doesn't. I think Commissioner Land, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we have a pretty good working relationship with BFD, and I'm hoping that spills over to the city and that we look at this as a partnership moving forward, not as a contentious issue. Even though it has the potential to be that way, I really think that all the players are looking for a permanent solution and not to keep kicking the can down the road. So I'm hopeful that things will work out very well.
You captured that entirely accurately from my position anyway. It's all about relationships. We've got a great relationship. We want to continue with that relationship. I guess just defending from where our legal counsel is coming from, just by nature of the role. They're used to just advocating for their clients in an adversarial kind of manner. I mean, that's just kind of the nature of his role. But in any conversations that I've had with him in the past and will have with him in the future, he'll understand that our goal is a very cooperative relationship in the future with anybody that we work with, for that matter, whether it's the city of Bellingham or District 21 or whoever we end up partnering with. I think that's just really, really important.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. Unfortunately, he only gets involved when things go sideways, right?
You're right.
So his sum total of his experience are things that don't turn out well. So
exactly. Did I notice on your invite for that joint meeting, was Chief Bill Hewitt invited to that?
Yes. Yes, we've invited him as well. I just figured it would give, that way the complete boards from both districts can hear both fire chiefs and both board chairs talk about what we've discussed. That way everybody's on the same page, and it just seemed like a good idea.
Yeah, it is a good idea. I'm glad I didn't think to invite him. I'm glad you did. Any of the other two commissioners, do you have any comments or input on just that process up to this point, or anything you want to make sure that we talk about before the joint meeting, that if other members of other boards or chiefs need to kind of be given a heads up on what some of the particular issues or questions or concerns might be?
I have no other need to discuss, this any further at this point. I'm happy with the direction we're going. I'm glad you all sent that letter, and I agree with both of you that, it's in all of our best interest to maintain good working relationships with everybody. And so far, it seems like everybody's intent is to do right by the taxpayers and make sure we get them fire coverage. So I'm good right now. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Steve. Tim?
Yeah, I would agree I'd echo Steve's comments. I do think we want to keep it cooperative, and I thought that was a good letter that was sent to the mayor. I did have one question reading through the fire district administrative report for April. There's a note in there about getting Chief Hoffman from District 7 involved. Is he also going to attend the June 4th meeting?
I hadn't planned on it. We hadn't sat down and formally talked to him yet. those Chief Hewitt and I will, and Chief Nozel from South Wacom will speak with him actually next week at the Fire Chiefs Conference. We were going to kind of do it a little more informally, and District 7's just been dealing with a lot, and we just thought we'd give them some recovery time and time to kind of get their planning back on track, and then launch this into them. So we'll if we need to add him, if we feel like it might be useful to add him at the 11th hour, we may do that. But right now we're just gonna have kind of the basic chat next the week after next. So
Okay, very good.
All right. That takes us to the Britton Loop Station 12 maintenance update. My memory is it had something to do with painting, possibly.
yes, and Chief Ward, do you want to take this, or can you hear me?
Certainly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll just remind you, gentlemen, don't shoot the messenger.
Uh-oh.
So, gentlemen, I know we've got a situation at Britton Loop in regards to the exterior of the building that's in dire need of a serious paint job in many respects. I have reached out and finally gotten 3 bids from vendors. One of them is so low, I don't even know what he's even thinking of painting on the walls other than colored water. It's one of those that you just know that the bid is so low that you just can't even look at it, to be honest with you. There is some repairs that need to be done. 2 of the 3 vendors are not in the position to do any kind of repairs on damaged clapboards or anything like that. So they bow out of that that particular part of things. They did provide us with a reasonable bid to paint the buildings, the admin building and the fire station itself. I do have one vendor that is willing to, they're set up to where they can do everything. That is from the repairs to the paint to all the finish work that needs to be done. That one was quite shocking. I'm glad you're all sitting down. That one was $111,000. The next one that we had work done from this gentleman, he painted some bay doors for us here at North Wacom, did an excellent job. He's a small community member and a small contractor. He's at $39,113.60 for the admin building, and then $22,401.92 for the fire station. But that doesn't include any repairs. That's strictly just painting. I've got one other vendor that I'm working on with right now to try and get him. They're also busy that they just don't have time to take on another little job like we've got right now. So getting a contractor or anybody that does work is I can get them to say yes, but I can't give you a date. That I'm trying to keep pushing on them to come out and give us an idea of what needs to be repaired. Part of the issues that we have with Station 12 is when they built that building, there was a lot of customization done, especially around the gutters. Those gutters are not anything that you can even repair or replace with the exact same thing. You'd have to tear them all off and put a 6-inch prefab gutter in there. I think it was just an aesthetics thing at that time, but as those start to fail, that's going to be our only option for kind of repairing that particular item, is to just replace the section itself. And that would mean an entire side of the building, not just that 4-foot or 8-foot section, just because that cannot be replicated. So I just want to give you that heads up. I currently have one of our firefighters has a connection with a metal fabrication company, and he's been able to get a couple of the pieces that have been melted through on the tower and burned through on the tower. And he's been able to get it over to them, and they can create a jig real simple at no cost really to us, other than the cost of the metal to bend it into the shape that we need it. It's kind of, I guess, a generic jig that they can bend in certain ways and make it happen. So I don't have costs on repairs on that yet. I'm got a little more prioritized with some of the flooding and stuff at some of the other stations that we had over the past few months. So that's kind of taken a little bit of a backseat to what's happening. But the stations are definitely a higher priority than the tower as far as getting some work done on, especially the paint. So,
I think what I'd like to do is put these bids that we have. I wanted to get those numbers out to you so you could just kind of mull them over. But what I'd like to do is present the 3 bids to you next month for you to decide on one of them. Or if in the meantime, if you'd like us to go in a different direction, let us know and we'll try to zig and go that direction. $110,000 that's an incredible amount of money to pay at once. Maybe we look at, and if you'd like us to see if we can split the buildings up and do one this year, one next year. But as we got these bids in, the problem is it needs to be done, but we don't have a money printing machine to be able to pull that off. I would draw your attention to, tax receipts are in, BLS transport receipts, revenues are up a little bit. Some of those things give me hope that I actually don't think you're going to have to dip into, or the district's going to have to dip into reserves to be able to make your payments this year at all, which is wonderful, because that's what we had projected. But it looks like we're gonna make it. But then when we get slapped with something, $110,000 painting and repair bill, it sets us back a little bit. So once again, I realized this was a verbal presentation. I wanted you to kind of hear the numbers before you saw them. We'll put together in the packet for next month's board meeting, put together a bidding sheet basically, so you can see everything side by side. And then at that time, you could let us know you want us to split things up, you want us to focus on the firehouse, you want us to focus on the admin building. We can certainly give you our recommendation, and then maybe you choose to go with that, and then we'll choose what direction to go and formally award a bid and get on the list. Everything is out of whack. We are looking at purchasing apparatus, and they're telling us that they will be model year 2024. So even getting paint materials, they may commit to doing the work and not be able to do it because of materials and paint. So it's anybody's guess what will actually happen at this point. I just wanted you to hear it.
Yeah. I really appreciate that. I just wanted to highlight something that you just said about dipping into our reserves. And it occurs to me that at the end of last year, we had to make a very difficult decision regarding a personnel action, anticipating, moving forward and paying our bills. And hearing you say that it looks like what you're projecting is we won't have to dip into reserves, and our books are balancing, even with higher labor costs. I guess just retroactively makes me see the value in that really, really hard decision we made. So I was really happy to hear that. As far as the building painting, what would help me, and I think your plan moving forward sounds good from my perspective, what would help me is to hear more of the details on what the repair work is going to be outside of the painting. And that would just help my mind process what we're going to be committing to. But yeah, that's really all I had on that. Sounds like you've got you two have a good plan.
Okay. Yeah. The bid that includes the repair work is fairly detailed, and we would just include that total document so that you can see exactly what the contractor is proposing as far as repair work that needs to be done.
Okay. Well, and I'd be curious to know if the people that are bidding this, if their, if what they're saying needs to be repaired kind of match up. I mean, are we going to be looking at the Cadillac version of repairs, or, you know, the bare bones version of repairs that, you know, everybody agrees on? I guess I'm just not sure what that looks like.
I've got one other vendor that I've got potential lined up here that I've got a call to this week, and I'll see if he's able to come out and take a look at it and see if he can give us an idea of what you know, his feeling is on things. The first gentleman that came out, he had advised me that there's not a lot, but a number of the cedar clapboards that are actually splitting. And so once they start doing that, you can't just replace a part of it. You have to replace the whole piece. And again, he's being precautionary in the sense that that's very dry wood. And once you start pulling one off, you damage another one and another one just to get to that. So it could be a snowball and turn into a big, huge snowball. So let me see if I can get a second idea from a contractor to do the repairs, and that'll give you at least an idea of, you know, paint and repairs costs, and then the one with the paint and repairs all in one. So at least you have a little better comparison to look at, because right now you've got 3 distinctly different bids, and one of them is a complete project where the other 2 are just paint, and they're not necessarily as fair of a view as you can get.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Cooley, you had a keen interest in this project from almost day one, if as I recall. Do you have anything you want to weigh in on this process?
Thank you. Not really right now. I too, I'm fine with the direction we're going. I look forward to seeing those 3 bids. I think my concerns are probably the same as all of us at this meeting, that we protect the investment that the district made in building those buildings. And obviously the further down the road we kick the can, the more damage might result. So but I think we're all on that. I'm not unique in that regard. There were a couple of thoughts that came to my mind as y'all were talking, and we can probably go over them another time. But one of them was, and maybe just food for thought, I wonder if, particularly since the chief is going to maybe talk to another vendor, I wonder if re-siding might be less expensive, perhaps with something like hardy plank rather than cedar. So it's just something we ought to consider, rather than repairing the cedar. If it's deteriorating to the point where it's not cost effective to repair it, we may want to entertain look at what the cost of re-siding these buildings as we go along. Because again, cedar, as you know, is not quite as durable, in my opinion, as some other sidings. So anyway, we should just keep an open mind, I think, as we move forward. But thank you.
Yeah, nice. Well, there you go, Chief. There's a zag and a zig.
Yeah.
New siding.
That's how we roll.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea.
Thank you. No, I'm good. I'm good with the direction we're headed. So thank you.
If it makes you feel any better, this is not the only station that the re-siding question has come up at. So.
Oh, I'm sure not.
That kind of pain is going around.
Yeah, I got you.
All right. Anything else on the Britain Loop Station 12 maintenance? Smith Road Station 13 update.
It's still in progress. I have put it on the back burner. I've been tied up with EMS and District 4, North Wacom, Bellingham stuff. And yeah, I kind of put it on the back burner. My apologies. I'll get back at it. So.
Yeah, no worries. This is old business, not on the agenda, but it occurred to me when Chief Ward mentioned the tower. It's been a while, but Homeland Security had approached us. Jason, we were doing something with installing some kind of repelling device or something.
That's done, and they're using it.
That's happened. Okay, cool. Yep. No, I kind of lost track of that. Great.
Yeah, no, that project is finished, and they've they've scheduled at least a couple times and been out there doing their thing.
Anybody else using it?
Not that I'm aware of yet, but
Well, yeah, it's CBP. Let's see who else is out there that uses it. It's a combined group that has their helicopter repelling crews. Sheriff's office is in on it. Bellingham PD has people participating in it, but it's kind of like the SERP team where it's a joint group.
Sure.
And they're out there. They've been out there at least once a month since they got it finalized and the approval to use it. So,
All right, cool. New business.
I just have one item, if I could. You saw in the board packet, I believe the last item in correspondence was from Joe Quinn regarding in-person meetings, and that's going to have to be something that we tackle. It sounds like, from what I've read from Mr. Quinn, is that the governor's basically directed as of June 1, we go back to in-person meetings when possible. And I assume we're going to need to have a little discussion about that.
Well, okay. So I think when I first came on the board, we were still in the midst of COVID and it was remote. So I haven't had experience with in-person meetings. Do those typically happen at the Britton Loop Fire Hall?
Yes, they would happen at the station, at Station 12 in the admin building in the large training room there. And it would be, the commissioners, myself, Jenny in attendance, and then any public that wanted to attend and observe. Usually starts with the public comment section, 3 minutes, just like we've had here on online, and then we conduct our meeting.
So does moving forward with in-person meetings, would it allow for the flexibility of people to join and attend the meeting remotely if they wanted to, and just our mandate or the process that's changing for the governor's order would be that we, in addition to the online version, we also are providing an in-person opportunity for the public? That's the direction we're going?
It's my understanding that they want boards to meet in public so that there can be public interaction. If a board member needs to, due to circumstances, meet remotely, the public still has to be able to hear and see that person. And so it needs to be an interactive forum. And in addition, the public needs to be able to attend online if they wish, or remote in, telephone in, something like that. So it's kind of taking everything we're doing now and making it all happen at once. And notice there's been no funds offered by the governor's office to make this happen.
So I guess COVID has, I think, forever changed the way that we do business, and in particular, the way we meet. I would like to see us maintain the flexibility of being able to remote in, and not necessarily mandate or require that, at least from the commissioners and staff point of view, is that everybody would have to be in person, and just, the flexibility is for the public to either be in person or remote. I guess I'd like to see us keep that flexibility as well, to either be in person or remote in. So anyway, that's just one person. I guess I'd like to hear what the other two commissioners' thoughts are.
Well, I would have to read what Joe wrote again, what the attorney wrote again. I'll read it more thoroughly. My initial blush was that we had to have an in-person meeting. So when I read through it, but maybe that's not the case. But yeah, I'm all for flexibility. And of course, it's all about the public having access. So whatever way we can do that, if we can do both, that's great. But yeah.
Yeah, I would also opt for the kind of the hybrid approach and have the flexibility of attending in person or attending remotely. I guess my question is, so logistically, how do we make that work? But I would definitely be amenable to that type of approach.
Yeah, and I guess I'm coming at this from my last board meeting with another board that I serve on, and I was kind of led to believe we could do this hybrid model for both commissioners, staff, and the public. There might be a lot of moving parts in that, but yeah, I guess I'd like to, if we can move forward with as much flexibility as possible on both sides. I guess I think we should try to explore that and see if we can make it happen.
Okay, how about if I start an email chain with yourself, Commissioner Land, Mr. Quinn, and myself, and we'll ask some really pointed questions, and that way, the boards, I can kind of represent staff, and you can kind of represent the board, and we'll make sure that all those pieces and parts get addressed, or concerns from both sides. I did want to, if we do have to return to in-person meetings, I did want to float the option of an early morning meeting that might work better for the board. That would work better for the staff, as opposed to doing, I think, seeing that everybody's zooming in from their office, I think a lunchtime meeting is going to be difficult if we had to return in person. Rather than an evening meeting, which kind of has been the traditional way of doing things, I would ask that you would consider an early morning meeting as well. And I'm talking like 6:30 before people are at work, so that we can, I have young kids at home, and I don't want to miss any more bedtimes or dinners. So if we could do a morning meeting, that would be helpful, just planting a seed. So
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Starting that email chain, I guess that at first, just to make sure we have a good plan for how these meetings are going to look moving forward, and then the timing and scheduling of them. That'll just kind of evolve. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Good. Any other new business? Correspondence. The only one that I could think of was the letter to the city, and we've already kind of referenced that and talked about it. Was there anything else?
No, sir.
All right. So if everybody could just kind of double check their calendar for the next scheduled board meeting for June 13th. Still works for me. All right.
That works for me as well. Works for me as well. Or if we are going to in person, I can do morning as well.
Yeah, I'm free that whole day, so I can make assuming I'm done with my current jury duty.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at you. Well, I kind of am. All right. Anything else? Anybody need to put anything on the agenda for the next meeting?
I don't think so.
All right. So reminder to all that the documents are probably in the commissioner drawer at the fire hall, and those need to be signed promptly.
Yep. If you could email Jenny when you got that done, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, I will do it on my way home today, so by this evening for sure.
Okay, great.
I will also get it done by this evening.
Okay, great. So I'll just swing by tomorrow morning and pick them up then, it sounds like. Okay.
Yep. All right, if there's nothing else, can I entertain a motion to adjourn?
So moved. I moved to
Second.
adjourn. Oh,
It was moved and seconded that we adjourn. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, we're adjourned. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.